Y'all have no idea how long it took for me to figure out how to open the trunk from the inside. But anyways, I'm Jake McCollum. I've been living out of my car for 1,716 days. Been living out of this one for like a year. I had another one that I did for like 3 years. And as of recently, I've been spending some time here in Dallas. It's the holidays, it's December, but I did just spend like the past 6 months in Austin. Collectively, I've spent years in Austin, and I grew up here in Dallas. And so, you know, I kind of figured, since I've got a whole bunch of like nomadic knowledge, if you will, between Dallas and Austin, I'm like, well, maybe I could teach people the differences between the two. Which one's easier for car life, affordability, food, etc., etc., etc. And so, all right, we're all set up. Everything's all good, except I flew my drone into a tree this morning. So anyways, we'll have to deal with that at another time. So make sure to like and subscribe to tune in for that. But anyways, let's get started on the population and the overall vibe of both cities. How many people live in Austin, Texas as of 2021 at least? 964,177 is significantly bigger now, probably 1 million, 1.2 million or so. And then in Dallas, we've got a solid 1.3 or so maybe 1.4. So overall, kind of around the same amount. Now, as far as how big Dallas is compared to Austin, the Dallas area is very large, 385.9 square miles, and is over 100 square miles larger than Austin. So basically, there's kind of around the same amount of people that live in both cities, but Austin is smaller, and so it may feel a little bit more congested to you. Now, as far as the vibe goes, I'll start with Austin. You're gonna find a younger age range there, and you'll find a lot more out-of-staters. You know, a lot of people actually call Austin, Texas, the mini California of Texas. It's just more hipster in Austin. It's way more artsy, okay? And there's a lot of topography there, a lot of nature. Dallas, not so much. It's more, I guess, fancy would be a good word to use. You'll see a lot more suits there. You'll see a lot more structures. You'll see, you know, big buildings with big open windows. But the thing is, Dallas feels more like Texas, like actual Texas. So if you're ever planning on going to like a vacation or to visit Texas, for the sake of experiencing Texas, I would not recommend going to Austin, because that's the farthest thing from Texas in Texas that you could get to experiencing Texas. Now I want to talk about affordability between the two cities. So I've actually got this video up by living in Houston, Texas. Make sure to go and show him some love.
So when it comes to housing affordability, Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio are all going to be significantly more affordable than Austin. Over the past couple of years through COVID, Austin prices went up over 100%. I would say that the prices in Dallas, as far as housing affordability go, come in second to Austin.
So I agree with this as far as like renting or getting a home or mortgage, whatever. But what about car life and living in your car nomadically like me? But more on that later as far as car life, where good food spots are, loiter spots, sleeping spots. I will show y'all all of that in a little bit, so stay tuned. Next, I want to talk about the crime rate between both cities, okay? So I found this article by Robert Dix, and basically what Robert had to say is downtown Austin safe to visit. Yes, downtown Austin's actually one of the safest neighborhoods in the city, with a violent crime rate that is 52% lower than the rest of the country. However, it's still a busy area, and you'll want to exercise caution after dark. Is Austin safer than Dallas? Yes, most of data shows that the crime rate in Austin, Texas is lower than Dallas, with a crime rate of 4,098 per 100,000 residents compared to the 4,291 per 100,000 residents in Dallas. Thank you, Robert Dix, for your service. My thoughts on this: I think Austin is safer. The first couple of years of doing Carlife, I spent a lot of time in Dallas, and I had a couple of scary situations happen. I will share a couple with y'all. One was I was going to Walmart parking lots a lot. Don't do that anymore. And I was chilling in my car one night, and another car rolled up. And a big group of thugs got out of the car, and they knocked on my window, and so I rolled it down a little bit, and they're like, "Hey, you need anything?" And I'm like, "No, I think I'm good." And I rolled my window back up and didn't think much of it. A couple minutes go by, and I just hear a boom. They had reversed their car into my car, and then fled the scene. And then there was one instance where I was working gig economy, and I was dropping off an Uber Eats order, and I'm like, I just dropped off to this apartment. I come back out, and this man approaches me, and he seems a little sus, you know what I mean? And he's just like, "Hey, down the street, I got my dog in my car, and I've been looking for a dog parlor, and I can't find it. Do you know where to find one?" And me, and my stupid brain was like, "Let me pull my phone out and find you one." I pull my phone out. I start searching for a dog parlor. Dude just tries to snag my phone out of my hand. And luckily, I hold on tight to it, and I have to rip my phone out of his hands. And then after I do that, we just stop. And we stare at each other for a second. And he's like, "Don't you make a move, I'll beat your ass." And I was like, "Whatever, dude." And I just walked away. He walked away. And as far as Austin goes, I really don't have much to say as far as what I've experienced crime-wise. I do still occasionally get the knock on the window from homeless people asking for money in the middle of the night. And I will say that Austin definitely has a bigger homelessness problem in the city, but it has gotten better. At one point, there were literal tents all over the city. Dallas just isn't really like that. But I think Austin, in the past year or so, has done a better job of cleaning that up. Do you own a car? Let's talk about traffic. Okay, I actually recently just asked my Instagram. If you're not following me on there, please do. Trying to get to 50 billion followers on there. But I asked my followers which city they thought it was worse, and I was surprised to see that half the people thought Dallas was worse, and half the people thought Austin was worse. My personal opinion, as of recently, I think that Dallas has actually become worse, like in the city. Now, I will say that Dallas's highway operation is way better. We have way more highways and roads to maneuver to where you need to go. Just don't miss an exit or you will be screwed, okay? But there is a lot of complaining to do about Austin's Highway 35 that you go through. It can literally be bumper to bumper, but I've found that once you're actually like in the city, it hasn't been as big of a deal for me. But I will say it can be really annoying in Austin because of how much it's been growing. They've had to do a lot of construction to build new residency, more buildings for jobs, etc. And so there's always construction going on, and so you may find yourself stuck somewhere for a little while. And as far as like downtown goes for both cities, I feel like it's easier to find parking in Dallas because of how big it is compared to Austin. Matter of fact, here, let me show y'all something real quick. This right here is a ticket that I received for $286. Someone just subscribed. Thank you, Mia. $286. I just suggest never going to these addresses right here. Literally, all I did was I was working gig economy, taking some Uber orders, and decided to eat some lunch. I needed an open parking lot to go to eat for 15-30 minutes and then leave to get back to work. These were the addresses that I went to simply eat my lunch in my car and then leave. Don't do that. At least not at these addresses, okay? They'll charge you hundreds of dollars. So one more thing before we start talking about Carlife and being nomadic in these two cities. What to do for fun in both cities. So I'm gonna just load up my AK-47 because I'm about to just spray a whole bunch of info for y'all by looking at this. So what to do for fun in Austin. Nature, hikes, trails, hills, rivers, Barton Springs, Zilker Park, food trucks, comedy, Joe Rogan, 6th Street, Rainy Street, SoCo, South Congress, go see the bats, go kayaking, 1948 Peter Pan golf, okay? Go see the Texas Capitol, and go and listen to some amazing music. And now for Dallas, okay? Go to Deep Ellum, super fun street, Bishop Arts, south of the city. Dallas has the Texas State Fair. Museums. We have a lot of museums. We have a really badass aquarium. Go to Reunion Tower. Go to the very top. Experience it during the day and at night. Clyde Warren Park. Go to White Rock Lake. We've got the Dallas Farmers Market. Go to the AT&T district. Go check out the American Airlines Center. Maybe go see a game like the Mavs or the Dallas Stars. So yeah, those are just a couple of fun things that you can go and do if you decide to come to Austin or Dallas. Now let's talk about the fun stuff and what I feel like everyone's been waiting for. Which city is easier to be nomadic in or live in a car? I'm gonna raw dog this. I'm just gonna go straight into it, okay? We've got Dallas, we've got Austin. I am so gracious for this place right here, guys, okay? I know a lot of people talk mad crap about Planet Fitness from a, working out point of view, but this is my water bill. Okay, this is where I shower and is also an emergency place that you can stay because most Planet Fitnesses stay open for 24 hours. It's probably the first thing I recommend to anyone if they decide to live in their car is to get a gym membership so they have somewhere to clean up. Typically, one of my go-tos is hotels, motels, etc. There's a lot in Dallas. I haven't necessarily, you're not going to find parking for the ones downtown. I'm more so talking about maybe 3, 5, 7 miles out from the downtown of both these cities. I've never been big on, residential parking. Matter of fact, I've done next to none of that, but I also know how that can make people feel a little bit more secure to go to maybe a fancier neighborhood, find a good parking spot that's a little bit maybe discreet, and park there. Definitely a lot more safe than what I do. Most people don't do what I do, which is I like to find like town centers, big open parking lots. And in the past, that's definitely gotten me in some trouble because there's always security at these types of places. But I like to be monitored, I suppose. I like to go places with cameras in case anything were to happen. But that can also come with a risk. And then I get this question all of the time, okay? It's like, Jake, where do you take a dump? Where do you wipe your booty hole? Okay? And I basically tell everyone the same thing. There's literally bathrooms all over the place. I would say that it is a lot tougher in Dallas. I mean, of course, yes, you can walk into any place and ask to use the bathroom. But I find it easier in Austin just because of how athletic the city is. There's a bunch of parks to go to, and they've always got porta potties. You know, they in downtown where I hang out, there's hotels that you can just walk straight into to use the bathroom. But yeah, and guys, I mean, worst case scenario, if you really got to take a dump, try and hold it in. Wait for dark, and then find an open parking lot where there's not a lot of lights, and pull out your really cheap wet wipes and just plop one down where you can. There've been many. Last but not least, I would say, as far as food goes, I find it cheaper in Austin. And I think a lot of people would argue against that, because Austin's known for like their food trucks and all these other things that you're having to freaking pay $12 to $15 for a meal and stuff. But the thing for me is, like, here in Austin, they have way more HEBs, which is my favorite grocery store. They have HEBs all over the place, and really fancy ones too. Basically, you can go and buy a $4 or $5 sandwich from HEB. I mean, guys, this is a brand new HEB in Austin right here. They literally have a barbecue place inside of here. Sometimes I get a $6 chopped brisket sandwich. And at HEB, they have their own brand, kind of like Walmart is to Great Value. HEB has their own brand. And you can buy a $1 bag of chips, which is, I mean, they really stack that shit for you. And I just love HEB. And they don't really have those in the Dallas area. The closest one to Dallas, what is this one? It's way over here. Like an hour away in Richardson. You know what I mean? Yeah, Dallas has Walmart, but like Walmart can be like gross. You know, HEB is just as affordable as Walmart, but it has like better products, I feel like, and just I just feel safer at HEB. Excuse me. Okay, so Jake, the big question now, okay? In my opinion, which do I think is easier to be nomadic and live in your car in? Which do you think is funner? Which do you prefer? I'd honestly say Austin. I think Austin is super fun and just easier to do car life in. But this is my home city, Dallas, and I love it, and it will always have a special place in my heart. And that about wraps it up, guys. I gotta figure out how to get my freaking drone from the top of that tree. Not looking forward to that, but anyways, like, subscribe. Like I said earlier, I've got a whole bunch of amazing links down in the description below. A whole bunch of donations here if you want to support your boy or support the channel. And I've been going live a lot on the channel as well. So if you want to tune in to that, maybe say hi or just hang out, I'd greatly appreciate it. And I guess we'll see y'all on the next one. Testes ballsack 1 2 anus. Juicy butthole diarrhea. Oh my god. It smells so bad, man. I've been having uncontrollable gas all day. I don't know if Jersey Mike's does that to people or not, but butthole. Oh my god, it smells so bad in here. Oh my shit. Just a couple more seconds, Jake. You got this. Just try and not breathe it in. I got some in my mouth.